So, first of all, to choose a problem for this topic was not an easy task. One quarter of the world's population live in poverty. 1.3 billion survive on less than $1 a day. 1 billion are illiterate. 1.3 billion people lack access to safe drinking water. And 1 billion go hungry daily. So, to pinpoint a problem is not easy. And in any case, when it comes to what a solution might be for any such problem, I have to answer that question honestly. I have a very neutral point of view in what it might take to solve any of mankind's problems. I do think it's very important to respect political figures, and it's important to abide by any laws that are enacted. But it's my opinion that the answer to any of mankind's problems is not a political one, nor will any permanent solution come from a social movement. And yes, my ideas are based on what I feel are very wise words that come from Scripture. To be specific, it's Jeremiah 10:23 that says it does not belong to man to direct his own steps. It's not in man's power to really figure it out on our own. And this is not meant to be a sermon by any means, but I did think it would be interesting just to consider why that statement might be true, why it might be beyond us to figure these things out. And this is not meant to be pessimistic. I do think there is a solution that I'll talk about as well. But first of all, why is this true? Or why could it be true? Well, there's two reasons. One reason is to consider the fact that throughout history, many honest hearted people have tried for years to do what is right and to figure out mankind's problems. Whether it's Martin Luther King, JFK, Gandhi, there have been many good people who were intelligent and had the very, very best of intentions. There's been various forms of government programs, social movements and reforms, revolutions even, that have been tried. But even despite all that, many of the problems that we discussed in the beginning, they still persist today, and some of them have gotten worse. So we've tried many ways, but it kind of seems like in some ways we spin our wheels. One reason why that might be is many people acknowledge that there's nobody who is truly unbiased. We all share some sort of bias, and because of that, it can be difficult when we're trying to come up with solutions or when we're trying to come up with some type of social reform or movement that would truly benefit all people in general. I think our biases may always get in the way of that. So that's one reason why I think it's going to be very difficult for mankind to ever be able to come up with a permanent solution that would be lasting and would benefit people of all sorts. A second reason is that you simply cannot legislate goodness. You can't legislate hate. In fact, we are protected. Our rights to hate people, our rights to think we're better than people are protected. Things like the First Amendment even protect our right to express that hatred. So it's hard to imagine a world where um, either a leader or their constituents wouldn't have hatred or any type of bias in them that would allow for any true and lasting change to take place. One example is world hunger. Now the reality is we produce enough food each year to feed the entire population of mankind and then some. So this is not a scarcity issue, it's an inequality issue. And the problem of world hunger is something that we've been facing for decades and generations. So the problem is we cannot, they say love is all you need, and sometimes that might actually be true, but you can't legislate that. You can't make it a rule to make people care enough, to make it enough of a priority, to simply make sure that food is equally distributed so that everybody is at least well fed each day. So that we cannot legislate those feelings towards other people, I think would make it difficult and impossible for mankind on our own to come up with any lasting or permanent solutions. And I don't mean to be pessimistic, like I said, because I do think there is a solution. Then, in conclusion, what would it take? Well, it would take a government, I believe. I believe mankind does need government. But it would take a government whose ruler, first of all, is unbiased, a ruler who is very loving and is capable, one who's very powerful, not in a tyrannical way, but one who has both the desire and the ability to solve things that every human wants, such as having jobs, having a place to live, good health care, and beyond good health care, perhaps a ruler who would even find a way to figure out how we can stop dying altogether. No more war, no more violence. All these things seem too good to be true, but these are lasting problems. And the solution, yes, it is a matter of my faith. Millions of people each day pray for God's kingdom. I feel the Bible teaches that God's kingdom is an actual government that can accomplish these things, not a government that's going to destroy the world in any way, but a government that can bring lasting solutions to mankind. So I know this is not at all what you would have expected, and I'm not trying to skirt the question in any way, but sometimes novel or fresh ideas are appreciated. For me, I do believe that there is going to be a solution to any of mankind's problems. I just think it's going to take a superhuman effort, but I do believe it will someday.